Boom, and there it is. It's the Leafs Weekender in your ears yet again. Brought to you by our friends over at Boxing Rock Brewing Co., the absolute big beer for the big game, or maybe this week, the big trade as Toronto Maple Leafs. Well, I think Pete said it best the other night when it was breaking. I'm shaking, is what he said. I'm shaking.
Still M. James. What a trade!
So the Leafs bring in the bearded iced warrior that I made a video about many months ago, Ryan O'Reilly. Fired up about that. But the other guy, and no, I have not made any clips, guys, but you guys told me to, Mr. Noel Ashari. Let's go. That man is a Maple Leaf.
Let's go.
I feel like I pumped his tires so much. Kyle Dubas said we just have to do it. We have to.
Kyle Dubas was listening. I don't care what anybody says. Let's freaking go.
Yo, shout out to James from Offside Talk, ladies and gentlemen. This guy's preached it at the beginning of the season. I was like, I don't know, James. Ryan O'Reilly, that's a far stretch. I just don't know. But sure as shit, he is a Toronto Maple Leaf. Let's fucking go.
I am so pumped for this.
So pumped up for this trade. It means so many things for the Maple Leafs, and we're going to break it down right now. And then we will get to the other side of things too later on. We will talk about Frank Saravelli. I don't want to say shitting his pants over it, being upset about it, but then Frank, I'm not making fun of you because I know that you and some of your contributors like Zach Lang and others do follow this show, and I appreciate you very, very much. But it does seem like you're a little upset that you weren't given the tip off on this trade. You seem upset. But anyways, we'll get into that later on towards the end of the show.
Who broke the trade? Was it David? Like the first I saw was David Alter.
I believe it was Elliot Friedman, to be honest.
Elliot? Yeah, it's usually him. What am I asking?
So it's either Frank Saravelli gets it first, Kevin Weeks, or Elliot Friedman.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only thing that I knew about the Alter stuff, you guys were talking about it, and then Alter all of a sudden was on. And yeah, I was breaking a trade with.
Can we talk about that trade was a what were you doing in moment? Can we talk about what we were doing? Because I was just like, I was sick as hell, ready to go to bed. I see in our group chat, man, he sends just a photo. I'm like, what?
Not real. It's not real.
I hop on Twitter, I see David Alter, Ryan O'Reilly. That's all I saw in the tweet. I didn't care about anything else. I saw Ryan O'Reilly. I immediately go to all my group chats. Guys, it's happened. Ryan O'Reilly's a Toronto Maple Leaf. What a trade. I was shaking for the last 30, after 30 minutes, just pure shakes. I had to pinch myself in the morning. I had to double check social media to make sure that Ryan O'Reilly actually happened because it 11 o'clock p.m. I had to make sure in the morning. I wasn't sure.
I cannot say that Elliot Friedman was the first person I heard it from because our group chat popped the frick off. I'm getting off work and I'm reading. I'm looking down on my phone and I'm like, Ryan O'Reilly, what is happening? And I go and I made my reaction video on TikTok in my car. I was so amped, so pumped. I was trying to still get warm, but I was already there because I was shaking so much. I was so pumped. Yeah. Oh my God. Shout out to Ryan O'Reilly's dad for posting that video of his kids reacting.
Oh my God, that was
love that.
In on the Leafs. I freaking loved every moment of that. If I was Ryan O'Reilly, I would have had freaking butterflies.
That was so cool.
And my heart pumping. Local Clinton boy just down the road from me. I'm pretty sure he drove through the Timmies here in Lucan, Ontario a while ago.
We won't talk about that.
Yeah, let's leave that alone.
He's a legend. Don't care what anybody says. He absolutely loves the atmosphere surrounding this team right now. I love this. Love it. Love it. Love it.
So here's the big thing, okay, guys? So let's break this down on a finite level here. The Maple Leafs go and get a player. What did I say the other night on Wednesday? When we have a player out of our top six, it looks noticeable. Matthews, is that what it looked noticeable? Now you have this guy who can play on your third line if you so want him to. But by the way, Noel Ashari, no slouch on the faceoff dot, folks. Looking pretty damn good. 58% so far as a Maple Leaf. Not bad. I'll take that every day of the week. But now Ryan O'Reilly can fit into your top six, onto your third line. He can play center. He can play wing. Oh, by the way, Ryan O'Reilly and Noel Acciari, without even a practice with the Maple Leafs, out there penalty killing. and on the power play.
I couldn't
So
believe
these guys just fit right in beautifully. But I don't understand how anyone, I know the assets given up, okay? It was Magic Beans and 2 prospects that were never going to be a part of the Maple Leafs
100%.
big club. They weren't. They just weren't. Sorry to say, Gaudette was a good story, but he didn't get further along in his development with the
And he
minor league
hasn't.
year to come up. So you leave that one alone. But the thing that no one is talking about is the Toronto Maple Leafs got Ryan O'Reilly at 75% retained. 1.825 on the cap hit is Ryan O'Reilly as a Maple Leaf. That alone is disgusting. But here's the other caveat that no one else really is talking about either. They slide Matt Murray onto the LTIR without so much as a tweet about it. You had to figure it out that night. Me and Alter were on, and it happened as we were on. He went from IR to LTIR to the Leafs having 4.1 plus in cap space to do some more dancing. And before everybody says, well, what about Matt Murray? How is he going to get games in? How is he going to play? Well, if you guys remember, when Bogosian and Hyman went down, the year that Freddie Anderson went down, it gave them the exact amount of cap space to reactivate Freddie Anderson and put him back into the lineup for the last game of the season to give him time to play. So, guys, like David Alter said when we started this season in our season preview show, injuries will help you take care of the cap, and the Leafs are one of the best at doing it. So sit back and watch the fireworks, because like last night, Elliot Friedman and Anthony Stewart said Kyle Dubas ain't freaking done. There's more work that's going to happen.
What possible trade can he make here? Obviously, we want a defenseman at this point, but like, what pieces are you going to move? Is it going to be Kerfoot, Engvall, like Camp? I don't like.
I was talking. If it's a top 4 defenseman, I think Sandin's out.
You think so?
Yeah, I think they would move a Sandin. I really do. I also think that
why not Liljegren?
Liljegren's defensive play is way higher than Sandin's, and that like I think you have to choose that over the points per game, whatever points, just because that's what you need in the playoffs rather than a lot of the points. And Sandin's a left-handed shot, and it's very hard to come by a right-handed shot, in my opinion.
It is hard to come by a right-handed shot. But if you're looking at guys that you're going to add, Elliot Friedman, you guys chirped me about this, was Scott Mayfield. And now with Matt Barzal being out indefinitely for the New York Islanders, if anybody has heard that one, that really sticks a dagger into the New York Islanders' plans. So take that as you will. But if you're in a playoff hunt, one of your best offensive players goes down, that really does not help your cause, Bo Horvat aside. So that may be heating up the coffee, the brew, the whatever you want to get yourself a Mayfield on this team. But again, you also probably, if you get Mayfield, you're going to find a way to do it on the cheap. And then you're going to go, who else could we possibly go and get? I would say you'd probably go look at a Domi, a Bukestad, something that fits in your bottom 6. And Domi looked good last night with Patty Kane, guys.
He does. He knows how to dish the puck off to him very, very well. He just knows how to feed.
And he's not afraid to get his nose dirty. I don't mean he has to be physical or fight, but he's not afraid to play along the boards. He's not afraid to go in the corner, and he's not afraid to take a licking to make addition. So he knows when
he was raised by a goon.
A lot of people saying Hathaway as well as an option.
I like Hathaway. I like Hathaway as a bottom 6 guy. But
why we're not looking for a bottom 6, are we?
Why wouldn't we look for a bottom 6? You definitely want to upgrade on what you have.
I don't think it really matters, to be honest. If you get a top 6 guy, obviously that would be great, but that would move Ryan O'Reilly down in my opinion.
But are you going to have to give up another pick?
100%. If you're getting,
listen,
my God.
You have already committed to your chips are in the middle now.
Yeah,
buddy. I don't.
All in. So now you're looking at what else can I give up, because I've already pushed. So I'm going to give up the rest of my chips that are there and say I'm absolutely all in. So I don't think Matthew Nyes is going nowhere.
100%
he's going to be an addition piece to this lineup. but I do think that anyone else that's not nailed down and any other pick is available.
Yeah,
I think
we were
this
just
team is
talking
going to
about
go.
Ty Voigt. There's another person that can be utilized in a trade, but
Topi Niemela.
Topi Nuemela, Ronnie
Yeah.
Horvanen,
yep.
any of the prospect goalies you have playing in the
Nicky
KHL.
Bobby.
Hiddleby, Nicky Bobby. There's all kinds of different things that maybe you say, you know what? We've gone this far. We are going all the way down the road.
Do
We're not
we
stopping.
do we get a backup at this point, or you think him Murray hopping into the playoffs is good enough?
Murray will have his opportunity to come back into this lineup and probably play about 10 games.
How many times has he been injured now?
He's been injured a bunch, but I mean, at the same time, he still has a 12-5 record. He's not a bad goalie this year.
12, yeah, I mean, he's still got a winning record, but he can't stay healthy. What's that like? So
I
it's
feel bad
guaranteed
for
that
him.
he's going to get injured in the playoffs, then, right? Like,
But that
money down
means
on
you have
that
an
right now.
insurance policy in Ilya Samsonov and Sonar. You know what
Yeah,
Sonar
I mean,
can do.
And we
Maybe
do,
he
yeah,
backs
and
up
like,
Sonar. Who knows?
and we do have good goaltending depth. Like, I'm okay with Wall and Chalgren playing for a game or two, but like, it's
I'm
still
okay with
quite
Wall.
scary how often our goalies
Joe-
are
You have
injured.
to. You also have to remember it's let's say in a deep playoff run, the majority of the time the number one plays all of the games.
Which at this point, guy, the incumbent
Unless
number one
getting-
in Toronto
gets
is Ilya Samsonov.
Unless he gets injured. That is the only. I didn't like what Minnesota did last year in the first round. They flip flopped. I think it was Fleury.
Fleury and Talbot.
No, Tal. Oh yeah, Fleury and Talbot. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I didn't like that. Like, why are you flipping somebody in a full first round? Like, it doesn't make any sense to me.
I don't know. But do you remember the one year it was a battle between the Washington goalies, Holtby and was it
Grubauer.
Or I don't know.
Yeah, could have been.
It was a big controversy with who they were going to start, and I think they started with Varlamov, and then Holtby just took the reins and ended up winning the Stanley Cup with them. So it's good to see that we have a 1-2 punch in net. I always used to say that you need a stud of a goalie to win a Stanley Cup, but I mean last year kind of proved me wrong, showing that you can win with a mediocre goalie with Darcy Kemper. And so I think the Leafs have what it takes to win the Stanley Cup this year, boys. I mean, knock on wood, but it looks like they have a good team this year.
They have a solid team this year. And here's the other thing, too. Everybody's saying that Dubas, for these trades, lied about rentals. But here's the thing. Maybe he didn't. Maybe there is interest from Ryan O'Reilly to re-sign with the Maple Leafs. And maybe they know that. And they're just waiting to see how things pan out before they dish a deal. And maybe Ryan O'Reilly will be a Maple Leaf for the foreseeable future along with Noel Shari.
Could you imagine?
Maybe those deals, maybe you just have to see where the cap's at. Maybe all those things have to, just percolate a bit more. But Dubas did say that he wasn't making deals for rentals. So maybe he knows something we don't. And maybe these guys are going to be Maple Leafs for a few more years to come. And this isn't just one kick at the can with these guys. So let's just take that for what we will.
He's very good at working the media, that Kyle Dubas guy. I do like what he said with how he's not married to the player. He wants him to move in first to see, when he was asked about a contract extension. I'd like to move in first before we get married, sort of deal, which makes complete sense. Like, see how he fits in. Go from there, see what he wants to do after the season, and then if we can sign him to a nice little hometown discount, that'd be pretty cool.
Hey,
I think being in the bottom six kind of makes you at a hometown discount. Just in my opinion.
Yeah, but I mean, here's the thing: you got Kerfoot going out the door at $3.5 million. Would you pay Ryan O'Reilly $3.5 million?
Kerfoot, Engvall.
I'd pay him $3 million.
Yeah, I'd have him hang around. Why wouldn't you have him hang around? I think it's a great thing.
But how old is he? He's what, 32?
He's 32.
Yeah,
he's my age.
That's so weird. That's so
It
weird.
is weird,
isn't it?
Yeah. He's
I hate that feeling.
Man, I look like I'm a silly young boy, so it's weird to see.
But I mean, Matthews is only 6 months older than me, so I get to follow him in the rest of my life and his career. So,
All right, well, guys, let's jump into this here. The week that was for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Obviously seen the trade, but it was a 2-1-0 week. We're not so happy about the last game. We've already touched on, you guys both were not here. had Manny and Clark Monroe.
I was listening to it.
Lena.
Yeah, Manny came in. I was
awesome.
like, I thought he was talking to the comments for a second because he was just like saying Manny, and I didn't hear anything in the background. And then Manny spoke up, and I was like, "Oh, hey, it's Manny."
Yeah. No, it was amazing. The good thing about this show is there's lots of people that definitely want to step in at a moment's notice to talk some hockey, and they're all either Maple Leaf fans or fans of the game, which is great. But yeah, so Wednesday night we talked about the first Chicago game. Not too shabby. At least pick up a victory. We won't dwell too much on that one. We play Montreal on Saturday night. The Montreal game to me was a tale of really two teams in that first period. The Leafs get scored on, figure it out, and then they did what we want them to do, which is put their foot on the gas, not take it off, and show the world that they can do what they need to do. And Joel Wool did his job, stood on his head. Days, a brick wall. Will he or won't he? Well, he definitely will for you.
Love the pun.
Oh, I know. I'm just wool of it.
I love that Ryan O'Reilly's first shift, he almost scored. Like, he had it. Martyr fed him a sweet pass in the slot, and he just missed. Like, how cool would that have been if Ryan O'Reilly scored on his first shift?
Oh, it would have been amazing.
Everybody would be like, he's the answer to all of our prayers.
I would have bought a jersey right there.
I think I would have bought a jersey. I think I bought a jersey anyway.
Oh,
that's a sweet jersey, man. I like that guy. But yeah, anyways, so they come out, Noel Shari, physical, doing what he needs to do as a part of this deal, looking solid. I love him on the face-off dot. Add a little bit thing. The one thing that I liked about it the most is both of those guys were adamant to be in the lineup on Saturday night against the Habs. They red-eyed it, got there, got in the lineup pretty much like hours after the trade broke, which is pretty damn cool that they wanted to be there. But they were already taking up after their teammates. And if you look at the scrum behind the net, someone went after Matthews, and Ryan O'Reilly was already dropping a couple little haymakers and grabbing guys and pulling them out of piles. Noel Ashari, same thing. Someone knocked Kerfoot in front of the net. The guy that Dylan says falls down a lot, and Noel Ashari was right there saying, "You're not knocking my boy over." So I like that factor, and that's why I'm saying I think if the Leafs add one or two or more of those kind of guys, just guys that they don't have to be fighters, but they just don't take no shit.
Yeah.
They won't take no crap, and they won't take you touching their guy. Yeah. They don't need to be a scrapper, but they'll be in there right in your face like, back up, otherwise I will drop you, and I don't give a rat's ass if I do.
Looking at Noel Achari, I did not realize how dominant of a jaw he has. Like, I looked at his jaw, and it's just looks rock solid. He's just like, yeah, I'm here to frick shit up, bud.
I heard Dubas was trying to go for Noel Achari in the offseason there, but it's got him in the trade.
James totally wasn't hearing those rumors during the summer at all.
Nope, never heard nothing. Never heard a goddamn
thing.
Listen, it's good that these players are with the Maple Leafs, and then we'll flip the script. We'll go to last night's game. Last night's game, not exactly what you want to see, but I will tell you this. There's one player on that Chicago team that's pissed off, and it's Mr. Patty Kane.
Yep.
That guy came out and wanted to tell everyone, hey, I'm here. I'm going somewhere, and you're going to want to pick me up, because apparently on Saturday night, a lot of teams have already pulled off on the Patty Kane sweepstakes, and we're not wanting to make any deals. We're not wanting to pay the price for Patrick Kane. Well, 5 goals in 2 games, and now everybody's back in the pool, as Elliot Friedman said. And I'm wondering, who he wants to party with, because he controls his fate. I mean, he's sounded a little salty that he didn't get to go to the Rangers. Sounded a little salty that he didn't get to go to the Leafs. So, now you wonder where the guys are going.
The Leafs could still fit him in with that 4.1, but I don't think it's going to happen. Where do you guys think he's going to go?
I think the two obvious ones are Carolina and Dallas. I don't know. I think Carolina's got the cap space right now with Pacioretty out.
Yes, and they do need that top 6 guy to have a dominant, to have a fighting chance in the Metro, I guess. Yeah, you're right.
Hey, Kaner, it's McDavid. Yeah, you want to come play with me? All right. We'll see you in Edmonton.
You don't think Matthew said that to him too?
Kyle Dubas already went out and made a deal that kind of brought in a big name player. So
yeah, I don't think Edmonton needs another superstar there. I'm just going to put that one out there. They need defense, and I don't care what anybody else says.
They want Carlson.
Suck ass on defense, just like Ottawa, and they're hanging their goalies at the dry a lot of the time. They rely on McDavid and Draisaitl to score.
We'll
five,
go around
six,
the horn
seven
about
goals.
trades and stuff here in a minute. We'll get back on track to the Chicago game that was. Speaking of hanging goalies out to dry, the Leafs hung Ilya Samsonov out to dry, and he couldn't even hang himself out to dry. Apparently, he spent a lot of time in the shitter, so poor guy.
There's a virus going around. I caught it, I'm pretty sure, but he was sick last night.
He shouldn't have played.
Yeah.
You should have let Shalgren play. I said that all weekend, though, even any of my videos. I said that you should just let him heal up, let him rest up until Tuesday night when you play Buffalo.
Yep.
You don't need him back. Let him just rest.
Yeah.
Why put him on the road to Chicago when he's sick?
I got issues, and I would not play a game if that's what was going on. I'm not going down on my knees and trying to save a goal when a fart might slip out and a streak mark gets blasted into my
running down his leg onto the ice.
Graphic.
I'm just saying it's pretty evident. Like poor Sammy, that goal that Kaner scored between his freaking 5-hole. I felt bad. The poor guy probably shot himself.
Yeah. The thing with last night too, like a lot of people are mad that Leafs played down to the lesser opponent. And sure, Chicago's garbage this year, but like the Leafs played, that's a back-to-back game with two new players in the lineup that haven't even practiced and don't know their system yet. And Chicago is, I think, 2 hours behind. So it's like they played a 6 p.m. Eastern time game. So they go from playing a 7 p.m. game on Saturday to Sunday, where they're pretty much on a 4 p.m. time zone there, and they're obviously tired as hell. So like I wasn't too frustrated with that loss. Like, they're tired. They almost had it. Literally Martyr hit the post in the third period. That game could have gone either way. It
was just a couple lucky bounces, I think, that Chicago got. Like that Kaner goal behind the freaking net. That one was.
Yeah, that was a. Yeah, I mean that Patrick Kane guy, Mr. Hat-Trick Kane. You can't ever doubt that man.
Here's the thing, though. Chicago was playing a goaltender that was in his 5th NHL game. Then you have all the offensive talent.
Yeah,
you should be able to pepper him, and just make his night busy, make him work. I know we hit the post. I know we did all these things, but that's a game. To me, you have to win. You're riding off the high of getting Ryan O'Reilly and Noel Shari. You got to pick up those 2 points. I'm not trying to be pessimistic, Pete, here, but those were 2 very winnable points that you need to have. You were lackluster on defense. The defense did not engage. They were not ready for any
2-on-1s. There's a lot of odd man rushes. Shout out to that kid on Chicago that scored his first goal, though. I felt okay for him.
Oh, Holman or whatever his name is.
Gutman.
Yeah, there you go. Gutman.
Good job, Gutman. You scored against Sammy.
So at least we're 2-1-0 that week. And now I want to know, for the week that's coming up, the week that will be, Toronto Maple Leafs take on the Buffalo Sabres.
Tomorrow night.
Seattle Kraken on Sunday. Ooh. And it's eluding me who else they play this week. There's one other
game. They don't play Saturday.
Crackheads.
No, they play the Kraken. They play Buffalo.
Minnesota.
One of the game.
Wow.
Minnesota. So I'm gonna lead this one off this week. I'm gonna say the Toronto Maple Leafs go 1-1-1.
Oh.
They win tomorrow night against Buffalo, slay a demon there. They lose to Minnesota because they're fighting tooth and nail to get to the playoffs. And then they OTL loss to the Seattle Kraken, who, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, are a legit NHL team.
Are they? Are these games on the road?
I believe they're all home.
Buffalo is on the road, I think.
Buffalo's on the road, and then the Wild is home, and then they're on the road because they go Kraken, Oilers, Flames, Canucks.
I was gonna say I was sniffing a Western road trip coming around again, but
we haven't hit that yet.
Yeah.
Okay, my picks here. I'm going. Buffalo's always had a goddamn number. And now that Ryan O'Reilly's a lead former Buffalo Sabre, you know they're going to be
Saber
extra
killer.
hungry to beat us now. So I think Buffalo's going to just flat out beat us in regulation. That's going to be 1-0. Next, we have Minnesota. I think the Leafs are going to steamroll Minnesota after taking an L from Buffalo. That's 1-1. And then the Kraken, I think they have our number this year. They fucking stomped us in Toronto. They're going to beat us. I'm going to say an OTL. I'm going with James 1-1-1.
Dilly.
I'm going shit.
What is
So
the time?
Tuesday, I want for any of my bettors, this is only advice. Book it. Ryan O'Reilly is going to score against his former team, the Buffalo Sabres. Book that one.
That'd be cool.
I think we're gonna lose in overtime to Buffalo. I think we're going to win against Minnesota. And I think we're going to get an overtime winner against Seattle. So 2-0-1.
All right.
Love the optimism.
All right. Well, our friend from across the pond is going to slide in with the time here as well for the week. It's going to be 1-2-0. Let's hope it's not. Let's hope we ride the momentum of the Ryan O'Reilly Noah Sherry trade, and let's hope we get another trade this week as well. But that is the week that was and the week that will be, and now we're sliding into the good, the bad, the ugly here on the Leafs Weekender, brought to you by our friends over at Smitty's Sports Cards. And guys, did he ever send me some cool things for the giveaways heading down the stretch here? Look at this one right here. I like a little shadow box action.
Oh,
that is a Nick Robertson.
box. I love
Nicky
Robbie shadow box rookie. That'll be coming down the pipe. But shout out to Smitty Sports Cards for sponsoring the good, the bad, and the ugly segment on Offside. Guys, the good. Morgan Riley, 400 points on the career. Let's go. Hit him with the 4 like Austin Matthews. Mr. Morgan Riley getting it done on the point sheet. Love it. Absolutely love it. I'm going to leave the next 2 to you guys. I usually roll with what the good, the bad, and the ugly is and let you guys, agree or disagree with me. Guys, what do you think the bad is this week?
The goaltending. I would say the goaltending, no?
Sonar looked good on Wednesday.
Yeah, but like our situation right now, I mean, we had Shalgren and Wool as our 1-2 on Friday. I mean, like our goaltending is never it's never been fully healthy, and it's just a little pet peeve in the back of my head every time I'm watching the Leafs. I'm just like, there's never.
But what if Wool and Samsonov are really just it? What if that is the actual combo? What if Wool has finally come to fruition?
Could be it. You don't know, but we haven't seen consistent wins from
getting Ben Scriven
in a couple of games. It's either Sammy's on or Wool's on.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys remember Ben Scriven's AHL goalie of the year. Like,
Groovy baby.
Just because he's doing pretty well in the AHL. I'll give him that, but like it sometimes doesn't translate that well into the NHL. And as we know the Leafs defense has gotten progressively better. And so I think with a solid D-core in front of that goaltending, it might hold up in the playoffs. I just want to see Samsonov and Murray stay healthy. I don't know. That's my bad. Dylan, if you have something else, I'd love to hear it.
No, it's a pretty good bad.
I think it's good bad.
All right,
ugly. I think it's obviously the Chicago loss. Patrick Kane kind of was just like proving it.
Just Patrick Kane.
He was just like, screw you guys. I don't care. He also had let's put this into perspective here. He has 8 career hat tricks, and two of them are against the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Of course,
in the Austin Matthews era, by the way.
Because that game that game against Austin, this one. Yeah, that is our ugly because we couldn't.
Did you see Matthew Nice the other night? Sorry.
When quote unquote he has hip issues, filling my ears with shit on that one. He's
I think he
fine.
does.
We don't care.
Still think he does. I still think he's going to be useful. But
Yes,
even a blind squirrel finds a nut every now and then. Dylan.
How old is Patrick Kane?
32. I don't know.
No, he's not 32. He's up
What
there with,
year
like,
were you
Crosby.
born?
What's that?
What year were you born?
I'm at 90.
I think he's 2 years older than you because I think his number 88 is
34?
actually the
Are
year
you
he was
sure?
born.
I'm looking this up.
He was born in 88. He's 34. He's going to be 35 this year.
I thought he was a little older than that, but okay.
So he's going to be 35 this year. Doesn't matter. 35 is old as shit.
He's 34 right now.
The logic behind it was hit right on the dot. Sorry, I had to.
All right.
That's a cool.
Yeah, I think that's our ugly. That was a brutal game.
We'll say that's the good, the bad, and ugly right there. Wrapped up. That's brought to you by Smitty's Sports Cards. A lot of chirping coming in on the chat here from Clark Monroe, talking about a statement game against the Buffalo Sabres. It always is a good matchup against Minnesota, and the Kraken will be another statement game for the Leafs. He's predicting a 3-0-0 week. Not too shabby. Folks, we're going to get into off the glass right here around the NHL, just some topics right quick. And then we'll get into our Bearded Blue Warrior and put a bow on the week that was for the Toronto Maple Leafs. So off the glass here, we're going to talk about Jonathan Toews. Released a statement and says, he's dealing with post-COVID effects still and will not be returning to the Chicago Blackhawks lineup anytime soon, taking him off of the trade board, basically. So we wish Jonathan Toews all the best. Hope he gets better.
Yeah.
Beats this, comes back. Obviously, he probably will be a Blackhawk next year. But what do you guys think about the Jonathan Toews announcement? Everyone thought there was something going on. It was an illness at first, and now obviously it is a severe illness. What do you think?
It's been weird seeing with Jonathan Toews ever since the lockout. Like he missed the first year after the whole lockout thing. So I think COVID has affected him the most out of any NHL player. It looks like. Yeah. It would have been so cool to see him go to Winnipeg, his hometown team. But it's just unfortunate to see such a warrior out of the lineup.
He's what? Isn't his nickname Captain Serious?
Yeah.
He's a trooper, man. I heard a stat on TSN that I think there was like some Canada games when he was like 16 or something like that, and he was playing for the West, and he won their first and only gold medal for the entire West team. So he's been a touted guy. He's had the world on his back in Chicago for a lot of years, and he's held it really, really well. I feel absolutely terrible for him, and I don't think he will go anywhere else, considering the illness now. And I think he's just going to ride into the sunset in Chicago, considering the 3 cups are already won there. So I hope he gets better, of course, and I hope he can come back for another season just to
he's
kind of sign it
off this year.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the next player that's off the market now with the Detroit Red Wings, mathematically, points percentage wise in the playoffs, even though they're a couple of points back and they have games in hand. That's why they say their points percentage puts them in the playoffs. Takes Tyler Bertuzzi off the market, a guy that a lot of teams were looking at and thinking about. And now with the May 8th, release or dropping of all restrictions COVID-wise to enter the United States with non-vaccinations, that also opened the door for Canadian teams to no longer be concerned about Tyler Bertuzzi and that issue. So that may have been a thing to get him going, but now I guess he is now completely off the market unless the Detroit Red Wings decide to plummet down the standings a little while. But it looks like they're starting to get their mojo back. So Tyler Bertuzzi no longer a trade target for any team. But like I said, the caveat being no teams were concerned about the vaccination status, as it seemed to be a moot point that he'd be allowed to play and do what he needs to do with that May 8th deadline coming up. So he would have been exempt anyways. Pretty awesome.
Cool.
So what do you guys think about that? Do you think that – here's the thing. I said Detroit would make the playoffs, if you guys remember.
I do remember, and you're supposed to make a dance if they don't make the playoffs.
Well, looks like you might be doing your dancey dance.
I am not doing the dance because they are not making the playoffs, James. Don't give me that.
They
They're
are
not doing that. They're not
they
making
are
a push.
points
They
percentage
said-
in the playoffs right now.
Buffalo's going to make
No,
it. I
they're
don't
not.
care.
They're
Buffalo's
not
going to
in the
make
playoffs right
it.
now.
Lucas
Let's just say
Raymond is out, I think, for the season. Don't quote me on that. That is a huge dig in their lineup. Yeah, I don't think Detroit's
It's
gonna make
okay.
it.
You just drop in a nice Jakob Verana in the spot of where
He's
Raymond
not
was.
doing well, James. He is not doing well.
Maybe he picked it up.
I get to pick the dance and song, no? Or
Yeah.
You do,
do
yeah.
your own thing?
Yeah, me and you, I think, because I joined in on you.
Oh,
PD.
really? Okay. Cool. Yeah.
It's okay,
I
boys.
definitely remember
I'll
that.
dance. I'll dance. There's no problem dancing, but you guys are going to both be dancing because Detroit's making the playoffs.
No, they're not.
No.
No.
You're full of leaky Samsonov poo.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah, lots
okay,
of-
okay. All
Yeah,
right,
you better
coming at me
your
with the
body
real
stuff.
stuff. You're just reposting other people's chirps.
Me?
Just
I ain't
reposting
never
other
heard that
people's
one
things.
yet.
Oh my god! All right, let's move on to the next little tidbit here. I want to know what you guys think of the fact that Frank Saravelli of the Locked On, no, not the Locked On Network. What do they do? What side are they from? Whatever, you know.
Daily
what I'm
Face Off. Daily Face
Daily
Off.
Face Off. There it is.
that's it.
Is a little upset that Kyle Dubas didn't pay him the respect of picking up the phone in the middle of the night and calling him and saying, "Hey, we're breaking a trade here with the St. Louis Blues. Do you want to drop the knowledge here?" Am I wrong in saying that he sounds like he's hurt over this? That he sounds upset that he wasn't the one to get to break this deal? Because I love the fact that people keep receipts. And there's a receipt from Frank Saravelli talking about Noel Acciari and Roy O'Reilly on how those two players are players you get to get you over the hump in the playoffs. And now that the Leafs have done such move, apparently it's not. I'm thinking there's a little butthurtyism there. And
100%.
Frank, I'm not doing this to chirp you, but you can't go and say on one hand a week before that the deal is a good deal and it's something you should do to get your team over the hump. And then when the team that you want to break the trade for does it and you don't get the piece of the pie, you're upset about it. So, guys, are we saying Frank Saravelli is hurt here, or are we just
I don't know any context to this, James.
Okay.
What did he tweet something that may have indicated that he was upset?
he made
Like,
a
I don't-
15-minute podcast about it.
Oh, okay.
And
Wow.
basically ripped the trade to shreds and said the Leafs overpaid, etc. Anything you can
Oh.
think of to say that it wasn't a good trade, even though a week before he was saying anyone who added those two players to their team was making a push.
We spent 15 minutes chopping up the Ryan O'Reilly trade and could have gone longer. Plenty on Kane. Oh, crying. Yeah, sorry, I just read the thing. I mean,
There's
I
that, but then if you go into the
he's a
comments and read the
professional.
comments, people breaking down what he said, he definitely sounded like he was upset that the deal wasn't coming from his lips about that.
I'm sorry, Frank, if you're listening, but cry me a river. In all honesty, why don't other people get to break it? I'm sorry, you boasted up everybody saying, "Oh, if you trade for these guys, you're going to be good," but then you're sour that Dubas didn't tell you about it. But do you have a receipt of you giving Dubas information about something, or if you have given him a favor and he should be giving you a favor back, then I understand why you should be sour about it. But in all honesty, it's up to Dubas who he tells. It's not really.
Doobie.
Yeah,
I think
don't know.
I think you guys might be overthinking it. I think he's a professional. He's just saying, because everyone's saying right now, "Oh, it's a great trade for the Leafs." Maybe he's just doing it for clicks. Maybe he's just ripping it apart for clicks. Someone's got to be talking negatively. Can't always be you can't always be positive about something here. So maybe, I don't know. Maybe he's just doing it for clicks again. I don't know. I haven't listened to the podcast. I haven't heard what he said. But maybe I'll do that after this, and maybe it'll change my mind next week. I'll have to wait and see, though.
All right. The last thing here, we'll move on from the Saravelli butthurtism and move to the Tampa Bay Lightning. The Leafs' future first-round opponent, which is pretty much locked in. Whether they're home or away to start is the only thing that's different and may change. What do you guys see? I want an answer from both of you. What do you guys see the Tampa Bay Lightning doing to respond to the Maple Leafs moves?
I don't know what they can do, James. I don't know their cap situation. I heard they were in on Luke Shen.
Tampa? We're talking Tampa right now, right?
Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know if they have to do anything. Like, you have Andre Vasilevsky, who is a playoff workhorse. Like, I think they can just leave the team as is, and they're still gonna make this game go to game 7. Like, it's gonna be close regardless if they make a move or not.
Man, they are kissing that cap by
Yep.
a shit ton. Like, in all honesty, I think like they even moved McDonough this offseason, and like they still need to do that again this offseason. Unless it goes up to $90 million, which I don't think it is, but like, yeah. I don't know. They have always had they've had Andre Vasilevsky for I don't know how many years, and he's been solid. Their decor does not look terrible, but I know that this year Hedman has kind of dropped off in points wise.
They're always tough to play. They're always going to be tough to play, especially when you got Victor Hedman, Kucherov, Point, Vasilevsky. Like, it's going to be close. And even if the Leafs do get knocked out by the Lightning, man, I hope they re-sign Dubas.
100%. I mean, they might go out and get a depth guy, but the only thing I think of when looking at their lineup is they have a very old bottom forward line.
Patrick Maroon, Corey Perry. I mean, those guys are guys.
Edward Bellemare. What are you on about over there, James?
I'm just so excited. I'm so excited right now. So we're talking about Tampa. Deadline cap space, $719,967. Then you look at the Maple Leafs. Deadline cap space, $4.420. So $4.4 million in cap space for the Maple Leafs to use at the trade deadline. So here's the old Michael Jordan song, anything you can do, we can do better. So if Tampa goes and adds a depth defenseman, then Toronto can go add a better depth defenseman. Toronto can bolster their top 6. You want to talk about Tampa's top 6 maybe being old? Here's another thing.
I didn't say top 6. They're bottom. They're bottom 6.
They're bottom 6. Hey, 1, 2, 3 cup runs for Tampa Bay. Tell me those guys aren't tired.
That's what I'm saying, James. Like,
the gas is out of the tank.
Pierre-Edouard Bellemare, Corey Perry, and Patrick Maroon. 2 of them are 35 plus. I don't know how old Patrick Maroon is. He probably is 34, if it's my guess. That's their bottom forward line. You got Kucherov, Point, Stamkos. I don't know if that is the actual first line, but those are their superstars. Then you got Cirelli, Killorn, Nick Paul. Nick Paul killed us last year, and he was a great asset to them. But I feel like Toronto went out and got their Nick Paul this year.
Who's our Nick Paul? Ryan O'Reilly or Noel Terry?
Yeah, Ryan O'Reilly.
Damn, dude. I'm still shocked that we have Ryan O'Reilly on this Maple Leaf team.
And then I think
Dubas is going to pull a couple more rabbits out of the hat.
100%. With $4 million, he'd be silly.
Please resign that man. I don't care if they get knocked out in the first round. Let's re-sign fucking Kyle Dubas right now.
You know
What are we
what?
doing?
You know who they're using as their LTIR?
Brent
Matt Murray?
Seabrook, come on down.
Yeah,
They're
Brent Seabrook.
Brent Seabrook on for who?
Tampa.
Tampa
They traded
Bay.
for him to
What?
put him on LTIR.
They traded for him to put him on LTIR.
I had no idea.
And they still only have over $700,000 in cap space.
That's crazy, man. That's crazy.
Tampa Bay operates on wonky business lines only.
Yeah. Shady team.
Also-
team. No state tax.
Also, they are still paying Vincent LeCalvier.
That's crazy.
Listen, we just got rid of Philly Kessel off our books, boys, so we're no better.
Yeah.
No better.
Hey, yes, we are because Kessel is still playing and Vinny LeCalvier is not.
Vinny Cavier went on to get 2 more contracts after that one, too.
Wow.
Redonkulous. All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, this has been Offside. The
Oh!
Weekender right here.
Bearded Blue Warrior, mister.
Oh, I almost wrapped her down. All right.
I
Yes.
thought that's what you were getting to here.
I thought we were waiting.
Boy, I feel like a big bad biker man now. Bald head.
Patrick Maroon is 34. Thank you, ZZ Press.
Should we all just pick the same guy right now? Is there a Bearded Blue Warrior or what?
I think we should all go 1, 2, 3 and say the exact. Yeah.
I got a different guy than you guys.
Oh, of course you do. Fine, James. Okay, then.
Fine, James. You go first then this time.
Yeah, you go first, James.
My bearded blue warrior for the week is none other than Ryan O'Reilly. No, it's not.
Oh.
It's not. It's Kyle Dubas.
That's
That's what we were going to say.
I didn't know you were going to say Dubas. Oh, no, I ripped my beard.
Oh my
Oh.
God! He ripped the beard. Ladies and
He
gentlemen,
ripped the beard.
James
He
Ross
avoided
Arpaio.
the sweep of Dubas being the bearded blue warrior. So I
That's-
guess mine
That's
is
who I was
this-
going to pick, right, Dylan? You were going to pick Dubas
Yes,
as well?
yes.
Yes. What the hell, James?
All right, well, then
Because
fine.
Andy, because
one.
Andy commented it.
2, 3.
3.
Kyle
Kyle
Dubas.
Dubas.
Let's go.
James, we need to work on our telepathic.
I thought you guys were all going to say Ryan O'Reilly. That's
No.
where I was like your own.
I looked at Andy and I was like, "You're right, Andy. You
Oh,
are
right
right.
from
You
the
need a
rip.
new
Kyle
beard."
Pulled
James
off one of
needs
the
a new
biggest
beard.
blockbuster trades. One of the biggest blockbuster trades I've ever seen.
It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this has been another Offside, the Leafs Weekender, because this is Offside Hockey Talk, where the Leafs and hockey come to talk. See you soon.